her son Krishna.
How are you doing, Divya?
I'm doing very fine, thank you.
Oh, great. There's Nessa. And
That is Eleanor, that is Nishant, who is working with me now for the last, I think, 4 sessions now.
Yes. Good evening,
great.
Eleanor.
Good evening. Glad to see a person who's worked with Ramesh for four sessions.
Thank you.
What are you noticing in your work?
Sorry?
What are you noticing in your work?
I had a slightly lower back problem, and I think probably, yes, we're sitting long hours. So it's a little better now, especially the right side. I was having an issue. And that is why my question yesterday that if one side is weak, we tend to use the other side. So I think that's helping right now.
No, basically, Nishan, what happens is we in Hanna Somatics try to encourage you to work on your weak side so that it will start coming up and balance with the stronger side. Because if you continue to use more of your strong side, you will create imbalances in the body that will further aggravate the problem. So you have to get out of that tendency to use one side and try and balance it on both sides. Eleanor, do you have anything to add?
Yes, and one of the things we try to do is make sure that the so-called strong side is really strong and not just chronically contracted. So we want the very seemingly strong one to be really strong and not just holding on all the time, never letting the other side have a turn.
Right. Also, what happens is when you have not done or you have not been exposed to exercise, you are not mindfully aware of this state of using any one side. The more you do exercises and when you are exposed to, then you become mindfully aware and then you actually make a effort towards doing these.
Great. Yeah, really good. And also sometimes you don't really know what's going on with your body. I mean, you kind of know, but it takes an outside observer to notice, how much you're contracting one more than the other. Because you're just doing the best you can.
True. Till Ramesh sir noticed, in fact, I was unaware that my right side had, there was a difference in the levels of my shoulders as well. So it's when, like you said, an outside observer is required. He noticed and he mentioned that, and then consciously I was actually making an effort to see that there is a difference in the posture, etc. Yes, you are very true on that, very right on that.
And then you begin to be more able to see your differences as you can practice with Ramesh's eyes, how he's able to see.
True. So are you based in California? Are you based in California?
Yes, north of San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco. Okay. So, how is the weather there right now?
Cool, but pleasant.
Okay, because this is the first time I'm seeing mist in we are based in Mumbai, and this first time I'm seeing mist in Mumbai. We've never seen mist over here.
Really? Good. We have had a lot of mist here lately. This week we've had a lot of mist. But you're near the water. That's amazing. You've never had mist.
True.
Shall we get started while we wait for others to join so that we can complete the formalities?
Sure.
Sit in a comfortable position, spine erect, eyes closed, be in sync with the vibrations and the sound of Shank. a sankalpa. I'm chanting Om, creating protective energy field around me that keeps me protected from all external negative influences, antibodies and viruses. Take a deep breath. Shanti mantras. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Madidamastu Ma Viddishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harigi Om. So welcome back to the second and concluding session of our third webinar. We are focusing on shoulder and neck pain in this particular webinar, and in subsequent webinars we will be dealing with other aspects as we go along. One of the things that we keep hearing all the time with participants who come to us and benefit is that how come such simple practices can make so much of a difference? And our answer always is that's how it is, and you experience it, and that's what is the final conclusion. So, to gain benefits, to eliminate pain, you don't have to do very great effortful things. It's actually something that you do with lesser effort but with a mindful awareness of what you're doing. That's all what Hanna Somatics is about, and if you practice it the way it is suggested, you do get multiple benefits. We have had situations where people walk into our center with various difficulties and they walk out with much better position as compared to what they walked in. So we have a couple of participants who will be sharing their experiences with us. We have Divya who will first talk to us about the experiences of Hanna Somatics for her son Krishna, who is 9 years old. And after that we'll have Rama who will talk about her experiences, and then we will hand over the floor to Eleanor to take us through the session today. Eleanor will first lead us with the practices for about 45 minutes to 50 minutes, and then we have two one-to-one evaluation plus suggested process under Hanna Somatics for two volunteers in the last 1 hour, and then we'll have some feedback time in the last 15 minutes. So let me invite Divya to share her experiences as the mother of Krishna.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Eleanor. And good morning to everyone who's present here. Thank you for having me here, sir. So I met Ramesh, sir, about 7 months now, and Krishna has been practicing with sir. Sir, am I right? About 7 months.
Yeah.
So I think the immediate effect that I have seen with Krishna. So Krishna, when we met sir, Krishna has flat feet and he would have acute pain in his thighs, in his hip region, in his knees, as well as in ankle region. So that has affected his playing, it's affected his confidence and his regular activities to quite an extent. And with the lockdown, I think the added stress of having to stay at home also added on to his overall well-being. The immediate effect that I could see after starting the practices was one, the reduced pain. the pain has reduced to quite an extent, and that has had a spillover effect in various other aspects of his functioning. One, the fear around the pain, the fear around using that particular part of the body. I see that has reduced to some extent, and he's able to overcome that fear. He's able to use that particular parts of his body to a better extent. So that has helped him to regain his confidence to quite an extent. That's helped him to play better, so he eats better, so he sleeps better, so he functions better. So that has had a spillover effect beautifully in other aspects. The calming presence of Ramesh sir, the calming presence, just the presence of Eleanor, during one or two sessions, um, also has had a lovely effect. I think this is a wonderful place for us to just come to make mistakes, to learn from our mistakes, to not get reprimanded. I have said this to sir too, but I think that has had a huge effect on our mental well-being as well. That too has added. Another aspect that I see is the open-mindedness. You know, it's not just a body part, not just a physical, but something is working really beautifully internally as well, on a mental state wherein the emotions are being addressed to some extent. So there is a good amount of open-mindedness. I see that affecting his studies. I see he grasping things in a better manner, in a far more quicker manner, uh, able to write better, able to speak better. Am I making sense so far? Is what
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
yes.
so
Wonderful.
yeah. So these are the very obvious, very glaring effects that I see so far. Um, and we are just approaching exams, and this is, I think, the sixth term that we have been taking in the lockdown, and I see a visible difference every quarter. If I can draw a graph, I can see a constant increase in the graph right now in the way we are performing. Now, I'm not a marks oriented person. I'm an effort oriented person, so I see the change in the effort that he's been putting in so far, and it's, as a parent, that's quite a pleasant sight to see, your child actually improving on an overall basis, and in just feeling more comfortable with himself on a day-to-day basis. I think that's what's my biggest takeaway from tonight.
Thank you very much. I will
Oh,
mute everybody, so whoever has to speak needs to unmute and then speak. Uh, Eleanor, you would want to respond to that? You have to unmute and speak. You have to unmute, Eleanor.
I am so happy to hear what you're saying about what you're noticing, and I can imagine all of that to be true. Because that sort of comes from Hanna Somatics, but it's so marvelous to hear that you're observing it yourself in your son and the overall effect. And you've said it so beautifully that I would like a copy of that to share with people
Yeah,
sometimes,
I'll cut the video and send it to you.
because it's so global. It's just the levels and the inner reactions and the blossoming of your son. And imagine he's going to go through his life very differently because of this experience and his growth. And you all were wonderful with him. You were it was a family event. Everybody was helping and participating and just marvelous. And he has such a good spirit and such enthusiasm and he's his own person. He knows what he wants, and he
In fact, I just wanted to add a couple of things. When first Divya brought him to me, Hanna Somatics was not in the picture at all. And she had brought him to use yoga to increase his mental capacities and things like that. And then we had the first seminar when Divya participated and heard you, Eleanor. And when she came to the next class, that is when she shared Krishna's problems of thigh pain, knee pain, etc., and said, "Can Hanna Somatics help?" And then, considering the fact that he was a youngster and with multiple issues, I suggested that we directly consult Eleanor because I'm still a student, I'm not a graduate as yet. And then we had 2 sessions with Eleanor, and Eleanor guided us as to what practices we should work on, and that is what we built upon. And the most interesting aspect, this is something you must know, Eleanor, is the boy was participating in an Independence Day parade. And for this, he was practicing. And they have to march every time. One Sunday evening, at about 3 o'clock, I got a SOS call saying that he is in acute pain and cannot stand up. So I said, "Can you somehow come on a Zoom call?" And he was at his grandparents' house. And the grandfather was saying, "Let us rush you to a doctor." And he said, "No, I want to only talk to Ramesh. I don't want to go to a doctor." And then the driver put him in the car and brought him back to Divya's house. And we did a 45-minute session. And the boy was running around after that. The boy who couldn't stand up, who couldn't move, who had to be lifted, started moving around comfortably. And after that, when he went for the parade, his pain was much less. And today he is able to play for at least 2.5 hours without any sense of a pain before he has to take a rest. So from 15 minutes to 2.5 hours, that's the amount he is now playing unconcerned about the pain. So this is what we have achieved. So Eleanor, apart from Paki, who was also a 9-year-old girl, also with a knee pain, who has completely been restored back to normalcy, this is the second 9-year-old case that we have. And hopefully in the subsequent seminars, we should be able to share the case of a 5-year-old kid with a paralytic arm. We are working with him, we are seeing improvements, but we'll showcase it after the kid has completely come back to normal. So thank you very much, Divya. Divya will have to sign off because she has to sit with her son for his exams. So I've told her I have no problem, perfectly all right. Thank you for taking the time and coming in.
Good luck with your exams. We're all behind you. We'll all be sitting there with you in the exam.
Thank you. Thank you, Eleanor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. The next person to share her experience is Rama. Rama, over to you. You have to unmute and speak.
Hi. Morning, everybody. Good morning, Eleanor. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah. So I was introduced to Hanna Somatics by my good friend Deepa, because I had a history of rheumatoid arthritis 15 years ago, which I overcame completely, and I've been pain-free for all these 15 years. And suddenly, for I don't know what reason or whatever, it surfaced sometime last year. And I was struggling through life and, going through painful joints and getting compromised on various movements, which is a terrible thing because I'm very much an outdoors person. I love to walk, run, and generally be a lot outside. And Deepa knows me very well, and we were catching up after a long time, sometime in July. And she mentioned, she's saying, "Oh, there is this thing called Hanna Somatics, which I've recently come across. And we are, in fact, in the middle of a workshop called Myth of Aging. So why don't you think of it?" Now, Deepa is not somebody who, makes suggestions lightly or just for no reason. So I was open to it. And I contacted Ramesh and I started doing Zoom sessions. They were more than halfway through the Myth of Aging program. So I did a few sessions with them. But what was amazing was the kind of very, very small, low effort kind of exercises, which immediately showed up in terms of ease of movement, in lessening of intensity of pain. And then I spoke to Ramesh and said that, look, I'd like to make up for the sessions that I couldn't do with the others. And do you think it can help? And unlike other muscle things that have set in over a period of abuse, mine is rheumatoid, so it keeps shifting. So once one corrects, it sometimes starts off in some completely unrelated. So do you think it'll help me on a permanent basis? So Ramesh said, yes, I think so. Why don't you come and start doing in-person sessions? So I did that with him through July and parts of August. And then I think he had to take a break, and I also had some family circumstances because of which, I couldn't continue for a month and a half. And that led to a setback, and everything's kind of worsened during that period. But I had tasted blood. I know the difference that it has made. And in between, I was fortunate enough to also have Eleanor guide us. And I participated in the webinar last one that she did as a volunteer. And I'm back to now all the family things. There was an illness, and subsequently my mother-in-law passed away, and we had a whole lot of readjustment. All those things are now behind us as far as a family. And I will now be able to dedicate myself to self-care. So I'm really looking forward to restarting and going the whole hog this time, and cleaning out and overcoming arthritis completely with help from Ramesh and Eleanor. I also bought the book Somatics. I've read it end to end, I think at least 3 or 4 times. And each time I look through it, it brings both new hope and new understanding. And a new conviction that, look, this is the way forward. If I have to get a solution, this is where I'm going to get it. So thank you so much, Eleanor, Ramesh. And I'm hoping to come completely pain-free and talk to you in a very short time. Thank you.
You can do it.
Yes, I know I can. Thanks so much.
In fact, she comes to the center sometimes with some difficulty of walking, and then she walks out of the center completely relaxed. And the posture improves tremendously, walking improves tremendously, just with 45-50 minutes of session.
So, and the effort, the effort to do anything there's such a dramatic difference before doing a session and after. I come home and my husband can see it. He's saying, my God, he's saying, you were not like this in the morning. So I'm like, yeah, he's saying, this is something, see it through, and I'm sure it'll help you.
Yeah.
It's very visible, and it's very quick, the kind of results.
Yeah.
The only thing I now have to figure out is to make it in a way where it sticks. So that's a question of figuring it out. And I have more than adequate help with both Ramesh and you in my corner. So it will happen very soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great.
So let us get started with the session for today. Over to you, Eleanor, to take us through our practice, continuing from what we left off yesterday. And then we will have 2 volunteers. One is Arun Radke, who you can see in a blue t-shirt there, with slight cervical C4, C5, I think, and a slight shoulder dislocation. And then we have Shivani Mahajan. Her video is off, I think. What happened to Shivani? I think she got disconnected. She should come back. Hi, there she is. So Shivani is working with me already, but despite these sessions, she still has some inflexibility. There she is. You can see. Can you wave your hand out? Yeah. So she'll be the second volunteer to go. We need to see what we can do to take it to the next level with your help and assistance. So over to you for the session to practice, and then we will come to one-to-one sessions.
Great. So please lie down on the floor, find or sit in your chair, whatever is the way you need to do it. So either on the floor, please arrange your your computer so I can see you, because if I can see you, I might have some suggestions. And I won't call your name, but I will just mention some things and you might recognize things you need to do with your own body. And so that's the way we go. It's a sort of interchange. So checking your body out, your legs are straight, your arms are by your side, your head is, as well as you know, in the middle, not to one side or the other. And you're just sensing your body as it lies on the floor and as it is supported by gravity. You know, we are part of our world. We are one. We are one with each other. We are one with our environment. And we can be more comfortable in it when we're sort of receiving the best that it has to give us. So we're going to start with a few of our somatic exercises, and then we'll move into some more dealing with some shoulder issues. And we'll see what evolves. So please slowly bend your knees. We'll do cat stretch number 1. So you're going to inhale and arch your back, that is, pick it up off the floor. Exhale, let it come back down to the floor. If you're sitting up, you'll simply go back to neutral. So inhale and arch your back. Exhale, let your back come back to the starting point. So we're going to do this 3 more times. Remember, your knees are bent. It'll be a lot easier if your knees are bent. And you're coming back down. Notice what's happening in different parts of your body as you do this. So you may notice your head moving a little bit, or your knees moving, or shoulders moving. All of that is part of your whole body response. So 5 times slowly, and then we're going to pause and feel the sensations that you created. This is the sensory feedback from your movements. It's very, very important. I'm sure that little Krishna has a whole lot of wonderful sensory feedback that is contributing to his making the absolute most of his intelligence. So just feel the sensations that you created. Now bring your hands behind your head, lace your fingers together, put your hands behind your head, and we're going to do cat stretch number 2. So you're going to inhale and arch your back. Exhale, let your head come forward as far as you can go easily, and then slowly coming back up to neutral. So we don't want to stretch anything, because if we stretch something, we trigger the stretch reflex and it recontracts. We're just going as far as we can go easily, and then slowly coming back. So we're going to do this 5 times slowly. With awareness. We're going to be very mindful as we do this. You're feeling your magnificent body arranging itself to do this. And it does it very, very well. So when you've done it 5 times slowly, you can put your arms down by your side and receive the feedback from your body. Sensations, and I'm going to tell you where they're coming from again. Can't hear this too many times. Those little sensations are coming from your skin, from your muscles, from your joints, from your tendons, from your ligaments, from your fascial sheaths, throughout your body. And coming in from your koshas, coming in from the different body layers that are also part of your body. So we'll just take about 20 seconds to feel the effects. Okay, slowly roll over onto your stomach. And bend your right arm. Put your left cheek on the back of your right hand. So you'll be kind of looking towards your elbow. And if you're sitting in the chair, you're going to kind of lean back a little bit and press your opposite foot into the floor. Lying on the floor, you're going to inhale, pick your hand, your head, and your elbow up and your opposite leg. And then slowly come back down. Very good. So repeat that 2 more times. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. And as you do this over time, it gets easier and easier. And the secret is keep it easy. So when you're ready, pick your left shoulder up so you can turn your head to the left, and you can put your right arm down by your side. Your left hand is going to be under your right cheek, and you're going to inhale, lift your hand, your head, and your elbow, and your opposite leg, and then slowly coming back down. Repeat that 2 more times. And then pause for a few seconds to feel the sensations you've created. Now slowly roll over on your back. And the arranging your body in between exercises is also part of your exercise. So you do that mindfully, with awareness, carefully. Gently is a word, but it's not just gentle, it's more precise. You're not just throwing your body around, you're doing it in a very focused way. Okay, bend your knees. Put your right hand behind your head. Your left hand is going to take your left knee as you pick it up. So if you're sitting in a chair, your knee's not going to go up as high as it did, as it would if you're lying down, but that's fine. You've used the muscles you need to use, and you've reset them going down. So inhale, arch your back. Exhale, bring your elbow across towards your opposite knee as you pick the opposite knee up. And then you're going to slowly let your foot go back down. Your elbow goes back down. And you're going to inhale and arch your back. And then get ready to do it again. And then exhale, bring your elbow towards your opposite knee. And slowly coming back down. So your hand is behind your head. Your elbow is out to the side. And as you come up, your elbow comes across towards your opposite knee. Great. So we want to do 3 repetitions on that side. And then you can turn over or change your position. Putting your left hand behind your head. Exhale, bring your left elbow towards your right knee now. And then slowly coming back down. And after you've done 3 times to each side, please put your arms down by your side, pause, and feel the sensations you've created. And you are mapped in your brain for this receiving of the sensory feedback. And the map is upside down. It is a map for the opposite side of your body. So when we're using, this one happens to cross over. So you're using both your right and your left hemisphere to do this movement. And it's very balancing of the 2 sides of your brain. So let's just go ahead and do the next 2. Roll over on your left side and bend your knees. And so your left arm is up under your head like a pillow, or you can bend it and be a pillow. Just don't hold on to your head with your left arm. Okay, so now your right arm is going across the top of your head like a halo towards your opposite ear. Great. And now your knees are bent. You're going to pick up your foot, therefore your upper foot. Therefore, you're going to move your leg forward a little bit. You're going to rotate it a little bit and then slowly let it go back down. Keep your knees together. We're just internally rotating that upper leg. So keep your knees together. You're just picking your foot up and not your knee. So keep your knees together. Don't pick your knee up. Imagine your 2 knees are glued to each other and you're just picking your foot up. Keep your knees together. Check it out. Am I keeping my knees together or am I picking my knee up toward the ceiling? Keep your knee down. Knee down. Okay, so you've got your arm over the top of your head. Inhale, pick your head up using the side of your body and also your foot up, leaving your knees together. Keep your knee down. You're getting there, that's good. And then let your foot come down, let your head come back down. If you want to put your hand on your side so you can feel the muscles shortening as you come up, you can. Ah, that's so good. And coming down. That is so good. Because we need enough space between the parts of your body for things to function well. And when you're doing this for a brief time, you're shortening everything and then you're resetting it, allowing everything to expand. So we'll just do that 3 times. This is so good for your breathing because it helps your rib cage be more flexible When you're ready, now roll over on the other side. Okay, yeah, we're keeping our knees together. All righty, now your left arm is going over your head, and you're going to pick your head up using the side of your body and your foot up, leaving your knees together. That's so good. Repeat that 3 times slowly. And if you're sitting in your chair, you can put your arm over the top. You can bend toward the side of the arm. So if your left arm is over the top of your head, you're going to bend to the left and then slowly come back up. You can also bring that knee in toward the other knee. And pick your hip up a little bit on that side. So you're coming over to the side, picking your hip up. We're shortening the side, that side that you're bending toward. Great, and when you're ready, coming out of it. And you can stay in position here for a moment and feel the sensations that are traveling through your body. Sometimes you get a chance to feel your soma, your mind body, your body experience from within. Feel it saying, thank you. Thank you, I really needed that. Ooh, that feels much better. It's a really nice thing to feel. So we're going to do one more of these. Roll over on your back. Put your arms out to the side like a T. Like your body is the one part of the T, your arms are the other parts. Now you're going to roll your right arm palm up toward the ceiling, and your left arm is going to be palm down. And your arms are straight out to the side. If you've got space, you've got the space for it. If not, they can be down a little bit. They can be all sorts of positions. Okay, so let's do this back and forth a little bit so you can feel it. This rotation starts at the shoulder and goes all the way down to the tips of your fingers. And it is a rotation, and it uses various shoulder muscles. And it's wonderful for your shoulders. Okay, turn your head over so that your face or your nose goes toward the hand that is palm up, and then change sides. Now here we have the head and neck rotations, very valuable. Okay, now let your knees drop over opposite from your face. So if your head is going to the right, your knees will be going to the left. And just let them go as far as they will go easily. Do not try to make them go to the floor or anything else, because this is a rotation of your whole spine, and you do not want to stress your spine. So just go as far as you can go easily, and then changing sides. If you want to inhale as your knees go up toward the ceiling and exhale as they go down, please feel free. It's a very nice thing to do. Almost like the inhaling helps you bring your knees up toward the ceiling. And after you've done at least 3 times to each side, pause and feel the sensations your body has created. And as you do that, you let that map of your body that you have in your brain, you let it fill in a little more, because you're having neurons, brain cells that are growing and connecting with one another. There's an old saying, and I think you have it in India also, and that is, what you don't use, you lose, or use it or lose it. It's talking about if you stay physically fit, you keep everything functional. If you don't, various parts of your systems do not function as well. For example, they tell us that if you have a tendency toward osteoporosis, you have to be walking, you have to do weight-bearing exercises to keep your skeleton intact. Otherwise, it will start to become weaker. So using it, you get to keep it. And that's true of all of your systems, including your brain. What you use, you will keep, and it will continue to grow and develop. So let's do a new exercise here. It's called the flower. So bend your knees and put your hands behind your head. And you're going to bring your elbows together as well as you can, and your knees together. And then slowly let your knees go out to the side and your elbows go out to the side. And then you bring your knees and your elbows together. And then slowly let them go out to the side, only as far as you can go easily. This is very good for muscles called adductors of your legs, of your thighs, and also for certain muscles in your shoulders, the forward part of your shoulders, and your arms. So we'll just do that about 3 times slowly, and the slow movement is the most important part, because that's when your brain is changing the tonicity of the muscles. So after you've done it about 3 times slowly, put your arms down by your side and feel the effects of your movements. So let's do another one. And this is working shoulder blades and shoulders really very nicely. So straighten your arms up toward the ceiling, right in front of you. So your arms are perpendicular to the floor. Yeah, and your palms are facing each other. Now you're going to lift up one arm, and the shoulder's going to follow it. And then you're going to lift up the other arm, and that shoulder is going to follow it. So one arm is going to be, so to speak, getting longer, but you're keeping them parallel to each other. So they're not going anywhere. They're just, one's getting taller, and then the other one's getting taller, because your shoulder blade has contributed to the length. Now let your knees drop to the side that's getting shorter. So the longer one is arm is reaching up, but your knees are going to the opposite side. And your head can roll as you wish as you're doing this, but your knees are going to go to one side, the opposite arm is going to get longer, and then you're rolling to the other side. So we're using your whole shoulder girdle, which is the whole combination of muscles on both sides of your body. So after you've done this a few times, you can let your arms slowly come down, put them down by your sides, and we will relax. And feel the sensations you created doing the posture. Okay, slowly roll over on your side and sit up slowly. And if you want to sit in a chair at this point, you can, or sit on the floor. Now, if you look at a person's shoulders, so look, let's do a visual assessment of your shoulders. So if you will make your screen, if you will pin yourself, there's a little blue square in the top right-hand corner. If you will pin yourself, as you click on that, there'll be several choices underneath it. And go to pin, and you can make yourself the largest picture on the screen, and you can see yourself really clearly. Now look at your shoulders, and what do you see? Are they coming more or less across from your neck to the end of the shoulder? Or is there a slope of your neck coming down towards your shoulders? Is one shoulder higher and one shoulder lower? Is there a scoop, a kind of valley between your neck and your shoulder? Like, is it rounded from your neck to your shoulder, or is there a valley? So there's a coming down and a coming back up for your shoulder. So just kind of check out what you've got. And we're going to work with the different muscles that arrange your shoulder position. And the reason why we want to do that is that if your shoulder blade is already rotated in a certain way, you can do that movement very well. If your shoulder blade is being rotated in another way, you can do that movement well, but you can't do the first one. If your shoulders are rotated down, you can bring your arms down really well. If your shoulder blades are rotated up, you can take your arms up really well, but you can't bring them down really well. But you need to be flexible. Your shoulder blades need to rotate up and rotate down, depending on what you want to do with your arms. So we're going to do some movements, and you can apply it to your shoulders, what you saw with your shoulders. Now, if a person has shoulders that are rotated down, sometimes they have trouble holding a bag on their shoulder because their shoulder slopes down, it falls off. Sometimes garments don't stay on as well because it's slipping off your shoulder because your shoulder is rotated down. So we're going to do the downward rotating ones first. And if you have a friend or a family member who says, I can't hold I want to hold my purse on my shoulder, but I can't because it keeps slipping off. Or I can't hold a backpack. I can't hold a backpack on my shoulders because it keeps slipping off my shoulder. You can say, I can help you with that. I can show you what to do. So first we're going to do the rotated down exercises. And we'll do them together. One of them we did last night, and so we'll start with that one. The levator scapula is a muscle that helps the shoulder blade rotate down. So we're going to use it to reset it. It also serves other purposes too, but we won't pay attention to that. So turn your head. So there are 3 muscles that rotate you up and 3 that rotate you down. So we're going to go through all of them. So turn your head to the right. Tilt your head to the right. Tilt your head back a little bit as you pick your shoulder up toward that same ear. And now your head's going to come down a little bit. It's going to come back to the middle and your shoulder comes down. So turn your head to the right, tilt to the right, take your right shoulder up towards your ear, tilt your head back a little bit, bring your head forward, let your shoulder come down, let your head come to the middle. So we only have to do this 3 times because your brain is resetting the resting level of your muscle. Turn your head to the right, tilt to the right, take your right shoulder up towards your ear, tilt your head back a little bit, bring your head forward, back to the middle, and your shoulder comes down. Now, right now, you may notice that this shoulder feels different from the other shoulder that we didn't work with yet. So let's work with it. Turn your head to the left, tilt to the left, take your left shoulder up towards your ear, tilt your head back a little bit, bring your head forward, back to the middle, your shoulder slides down. Turn to the left, tilt to the left, left shoulder up, tilt your head back, bring your head forward, back to the center, your shoulder comes down. Turn to the left, tilt to the left, take your left shoulder up, tilt back a little bit, bring your head forward, back to the center, shoulder slides down. Okay. Very good. So the next muscle that contributes to rotating your shoulders down is the pectoralis minor that we worked with last night. So put your hands on your thighs or down in front of you. And now bring just your shoulders to the front and slowly coming back to neutral. So shoulders, just bring your shoulders forward and slowly coming back. Shoulders coming forward and slowly coming back. Okay, so the third muscle that does that, helps you rotate your shoulders down, is the rhomboids, which we worked with last night. And they are attaching your shoulder blades to your spine. So bring the backs of your hands behind your hips, behind your buttocks, backs of your hands against your buttocks behind you. And now take your shoulders back together and then slowly let them come toward the front. So shoulders go back and coming toward the front. Shoulders go back, coming toward the front. Great, and you can let your hands come to the front now. So that's the 3 muscles, the levator scapula, the pectoralis minor, and the rhomboids. All help your shoulders rotate down. So sometimes people complain of their upper back hurting. It hurts right there beside the shoulder blades or between the shoulder blades. And they want to stretch their upper back, and they do. The problem with that is the results are temporary, and then the muscles will recontract again. You're triggering the stretch reflex. So you may have to do it a lot to get over and over because you keep recontracting things. So if you want to relax your rhomboids, Ramesh, you might turn around and let us see your rhomboids. Okay, so bring your shoulders back together. Okay, so you can see his shoulders, the shoulder blades are being brought towards your spine, and between the shoulder blades and the spine are the rhomboids. And so as they shorten, they pull your shoulders back. Many people will tell you, especially children growing up, you probably had people tell you this yourself when you were growing up, and that is, hold your shoulders back. Hold your shoulders back. You know, Rama, hold your shoulders back. The thing is, you can't hold them back for any length of time because you have to do other things. You have to pay attention to other things. You can't be paying attention to holding your shoulders back all the time. So if you want to do that, first you need to relax the muscles that are pulling your shoulders forward. So rotate your arms in, bring your shoulders forward. You need to do that several times. And then you can bring your hands behind you and bring your shoulders back, letting your rhomboids contract and slowly letting go. Then your rhomboids will be relaxed and they are not ready to recontract again, giving you a pain in your shoulder area. So that's the story on that. Let's do the rotation of the shoulder blades up. So one of the muscles that's involved in this is the upper trapezius. And last night we used the upper trapezius. So turn your head to the left, tilt your head back, take your shoulder up to the back of your head, and then slowly let your head come to neutral and your shoulder goes down. That's that shoulder behind. So if you turn to the left, you're going to tilt your head back toward the right shoulder, pick your right shoulder up, and then slowly let your head come forward and your shoulder goes down. So we're shortening that upper trapezius and then we're slowly letting it come down. About 3 times. Great, let's do the other side. So now we're looking to the left. Tilt your head back toward the right. Take your left shoulder up toward the back of your head. Slowly let your head come down. Your shoulder comes down and relax. Tilt your head back. Shoulder goes up. Head comes down now. Shoulder goes down. Tilt your head back. Shoulder goes up. Head comes forward. Shoulder goes down. Great. So that's number 1 for the rotating of your shoulder blades up. So the next one that's involved is the lower trapezius. So it's pulling on the shoulder blade. It's like a steering wheel. And you've got 2 hands on the steering wheel. One hand is going to be taking it up, and the other hand is going to take it up from below. It's going to take it up by moving the bottom over to the opposite side. So they're going like that. So we're going to work with the lower trapezius, and it comes from the spine of your shoulder blade, comes over toward your back spine, it comes down to the end of your rib cage. All of that is muscle. And we're going to bring your shoulder down and back towards your opposite hip. And then slowly bring your shoulder forward. So Ramesh, you turn around and show us what that looks like. So you're bringing your shoulder back and down toward the opposite hip. There you go. And then slowly let your shoulder come toward the front. So it's down and back. You may not feel it very much, but it can be very contracted. Sometimes people feel quite a bit of pain in it. Okay, let's do the other one. Bring your shoulder down and back towards your opposite hip and coming toward the front. Shoulder down and back toward the opposite hip and coming toward the front. Shoulder down and back toward the opposite hip, coming toward the front, and relax. So that's 2 of the 3 muscles that will rotate your shoulders up. The last one is a really interesting one. It's called the Serratus Anterior. And when it's tight, it pulls you in because it comes from about 8 ribs in front, and it comes under your arm, comes under the shoulder blade to the edge of the shoulder blade that is near the spine. And its job is to help the rhomboids keep your shoulder blade on your back rather than having it wing out. So you may not know that your shoulders wing out because you can't see them, but if you're lying on them, you may notice, some people do notice it when they're lying on their backs and their shoulder blades are actually being lifted up away from their body, but you can feel it when you're lying on them. Okay, so to work with the Serratus Anterior, you're going to reach your arm out in front, rotate it inward, that is, bring the thumb toward the floor, and then reach forward and up, and slowly coming, let your shoulder blade come back. Roll your arm in and reach up, and your shoulder blade's going to follow you, and coming back. One more time, reach up and in, and coming back. And relax your arm and your shoulder. Now, when you're ready, let's do the other arm. Roll the arm inward and reach up and away from yourself, letting your shoulder blade follow you. Come out of that, reach up, in and up, coming out, in and up, and then relax. Sometimes when the Serratus Anterior is tight, it sort of compresses your chest. It can also make it difficult to breathe very easily because it won't let your ribs expand. It won't let your rib cage expand. So anything you want to say, Ramesh?
No, once we are through with this, we will move to the next, the one-to-one assessment.
Okay, so good. Okay, so now let's pin ourselves again. That little blue box up in the right-hand corner. Click on it and go down to pin or replace pin. Click on it and make yourself large and take a look at your shoulders. Let your shoulders be comfortably resting on your rib cage, and just look at yourself and see, do your shoulders look the same as they did before? Do they look different? So, Kanan, what are you noticing in your shoulders?
I'm able to see that there was a major uh, tilt of my left, and right was this. Now I'm feeling somehow they are being balanced.
It looked,
And
yeah.
and there was after the last exercise, there was some tingling pain here, and this whole portion, including the back, that was as hard as a rock, which I feel they are a little, I mean, I'm able to touch it without pain.
Great, great. Anyone else notice some changes in your shoulders?
Hi, Eleanor. Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes, yes.
Hi.
Hi.
So just wanted to say when I'm turning, I do not have a pain in my vertebrae area that I spoke about yesterday.
Yes.
But I have a very peculiar problem. When I turn my head, a gland inside pains. So yesterday I did the exercise. So today I have a pain in the gland inside. And this has happened to me, which is why I don't turn my head. When you tell me to turn the head and place the cheek on the left or the right side, I don't do that. Because yesterday I did a little bit of turning, and now this side gland keeps paining. So I don't know whether this is related to any of, if you can help me in any way.
Right. It probably is just being stimulated by the movements. So I don't know how your gland is. Is it overactive? Is it, are you responding to something? Is your body fighting something? Don't know what's going on with your gland, but it will probably subside.
Yes, it does subside.
Yeah.
But as a result of which I don't do those turning, the head turning and keeping the, should I keep doing them? I'm afraid that the pain will come, so I don't do them. What do you say?
I bet it would be good to do them, but do them very gently and not very much. Like, don't go to the end of your range of motion, just a little bit of movement. We really need movement. We need this. We need the circulation. We need to have things circulate. What did other people notice?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eleanor,
Yes.
I've actually been on my back a lot these last 20 days because I was undergoing some Ayurvedic treatment for, my rheumatoid arthritis. And so the entire rhomboids had kind of, got set. Because I was lying on my back a lot. I'm feeling a lot of looseness right now. And there also used to be a pull along this, especially this right side of my neck. So that yesterday I felt a reduction in that. Today it's not there at all.
Well, that's fairly great. That's great. Anybody else want to share with us what you discovered in your shoulder work? Okay, Ramesh, you want to move the agenda?
So we'll move on with the one-to-one sessions assessment. It's a demonstration of how a practitioner evaluates and then guides the participant to it. So our first volunteer for today is Arun. And you can pin Arun's image, make it large so that you can see how the assessment works.
So Arun,
And Harun had shared his details I sent you by email. I don't know whether you got a chance to look at it.
I did.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I wish that he would tell all of us a little
Correct.
bit about what he's feeling.
Good evening, Eleanor, and
Good
good
evening.
morning to all of our other participants. I thank Eleanor and Ramesh sir for giving me opportunity to join this nice session. I am having this problem for last few years of shoulder, and they have been intensified in last few months. However, I am associated with some yoga practices for last few years, but I felt the way Eleanor has given the steps of this rather treatment, I should say, or bringing it back to the normal. Yesterday, I joined the first time the session, and I felt I could pinpoint my problems, and I am confident that after few sessions, I'll be able to address it and get the problem solved. Because the problems got created in last many years, and it may take time, and I should allow also some time. But I feel this direction of treatment or the steps are really good, and I am confident to get relieved of it. Thank you, Eleanor and Ramesh.
Yeah, but describe your problem so that she can make an assessment.
Recently, I am now in Pune, and my daughter is associated with some hospital line. So she had arranged a ortho specialist consultancy, and he advised us to go for MRI for both the shoulders. After getting MRIs, the doctors said that on the left shoulder on the both shoulders rather, the main ligaments are torn off, and especially on the left shoulder the gap is much higher, and right shoulder it is less. And I was advised to go for surgery, which I have delayed it after discussing with Ramesh sir. And I thought we'll go through this treatment, and I feel that I'll be able to cope up with it. In some particular directions only, I am unable to move the hands or take the load. Because of my so many years of practice of sadhana, I am able to manage it, but I feel that pain is not gone, and I have lost the strength in both the hands, rather the upper arms. But yesterday I felt I could locate the problem point or the issue where the pain is getting source of the pain. And in those positions, if we practice, I practice, I may get relieved of the pain, and I felt comfort level after doing yesterday's session. And thank you very much, Eleanor and Ramesh sir.
Welcome. Wonderful. Thank you. So as we are looking at you, well, just to say that in his medical tests, it showed that he has some narrowing of his facets. At the cervical level, he has a tendon that relates to the supraspinatus that we worked with yesterday is fraying a little bit. It's been very pulled by his supraspinatus. He has some discomfort because of the space through which the nerves are exiting his cervical vertebrae is narrowed, so they get compressed a little bit. And so as I'm looking at you there, it's wonderful news, wonderful news. You look a little bit like your neck is shorter than it actually is. You look a little like you're being compressed by contracted muscles. We need space. We need space between vertebrae so that the discs can be as plump as possible. We need space to let the nerves leave the spinal column. And so in doing the neck exercises that you're going to do with Ramesh and that we did yesterday, in fact, as we're speaking here, your neck is getting longer because this compression aspect is letting go. See, when muscles are being contracted on both sides, they pull it together. If we can lengthen those muscles, and we can't do it by stretching them because they will recontract. We have to contract them and slowly let them lengthen. So it looks like your shoulders actually being carried higher than they actually are. And that's because of the muscles we talked yesterday that lift your shoulders up are holding them up, and they don't need to hold them up. They can rest on your rib cage. So as you work with your levator scapula and you work with your upper trapezius, you can begin to let your shoulders rest on your rib cage. If you also will do that little supraspinatus move that we were doing, bringing your arm away from your side a little bit and then letting it come back down. See, one of the things that frays the tendon is that muscle being very tight, pulling on the tendon. And so as you reset it, what are you showing there, Ramesh? Are you showing the...
They're just moving the hand away that you just now mentioned.
A little bit and let it come back down. So last night, did you feel your supraspinatus tighten and then relax when you brought your arm out to the side and then let your arm come back down? Can we hear you? In fact, as we are talking, as I was saying earlier, looks like your shoulders are coming down more. And the way they can come down is not that you pull them down, but you decrease the output to those muscles that are holding them up so that your shoulders go down and they rest on your rib cage. And I'm sure you have worked hard in your life. You have gone through stress in your work life, and those muscles have gotten contracted, and they are, in a sense, shortening your neck and the space through which those nerves can exit. I think you have a lot of potential for changing that with the neck and shoulder exercises, and Ramesh kind of giving you feedback, guiding you.
Okay. I'll get in touch with Ramesh sir and take his help.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Eleanor, is his head coming a little in the front, or is it in place?
I need to
Just
see.
sit normally. Can you? Yeah. Can you guide me? Put in position.
Can you turn to the side so we can see your neck from the side?
Look straight ahead.
Yeah. So are you tucking your chin under at all? Are you
No.
trying to arrange your head and neck?
Just relax and look straight. Yeah. Now it's tilting a little backwards.
So how is your head position feeling for you?
You're muted.
I don't know
You're
how-
muted. You're muted. Unmute and speak.
Yeah, Aran, you are.
This is a comfortable position.
Okay.
Okay, so you're not pulling your chin back at all. Just let your chin relax. Good. Great. So the thing is, we need all the muscles of your neck at a comfortable tonicity, and the muscles that lift your shoulders, not lifting your shoulders too high. We need all of your shoulder muscles being comfortable rather than working hard. I think there's one more thing we need to do. So turn around and faces around. I think that your deltoid muscles, which are right off your shoulder, the upper part of your arm, may be a little tight. So would you please take your right arm up toward the ceiling? And then, no, yeah, hold on. Come down to 90 degrees. Okay, and now slowly let your arm come down by your side. Just bring your whole arm down. Just bring it down. Slowly, that is great. So you are changing the output to your deltoid muscle, which is here underneath your shoulder, coming up and slowly coming all the way down and relax. So do that 2 more times. Take it up to 90 degrees. No?
No, only 90. Yeah.
Out to the side.
Yeah.
And slowly coming back down. Just come straight down. Letting your deltoid, just with your arm in a neutral position, let your arm come down and relax. Let's go up.
I would like to give one feedback.
Okay.
From 90 degree to 45 degree, when we come to normal, at 45 degree, there is a small pain on the right while doing with the right arm, and while doing with the left arm, it gives more pain at 45 degree. This is a 45 degree pose.
In fact, Eleanor, when he comes to 45, he suddenly brings it down. Till 45, he comes at a very good slow speed, and then he suddenly brings it down.
There is a source of pain at 45 degree. In both the cases, on left side, it is more.
Okay, so let's add something in here. Let's work with your coracobrachialis. So, which is a muscle that comes from a little part of the shoulder blade that comes to the front. It comes down and attaches on your arm. So bend your arm, bring it out in front of you. Bend the arm at the elbow. Bend your arm. Bend your arm. Great. Bring your elbow down. Down. Elbow goes down. Okay. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see me around? Okay, now rotate your hand in. So the palm of your hand come. Great. Bring your elbow across the front of you. And slowly coming out to the side. And you can unwind. Stay there. Okay. Roll in. Don't go back. Don't go back. For goodness sakes, don't go back. Because that will stretch the coracobrachialis. And it recontracts. And it may press on its nerve. Don't go back with your arm.
Don't go, take it behind. See, you bring it like this, turn it down, and then keep it like that when you're keeping here, and then release it ultimately.
And don't go back too far.
Don't go back. Then you'll just keep only till here. Only till here.
Okay, let's go to the other one now. Your other arm. Bend your other arm. Bring the hand in.
Yeah.
And the elbow across your body.
That's it.
Coming out to the side. That is great. Coming in.
Correct.
Coming out. Coming in. Coming out. And relax your arm. Okay. This muscle gets what? Yeah.
At some points, just when you come in middle position, there is a small source of pain, and again it goes out.
Good, and it goes out. Great. Okay, so now take your arm out to the side again. Okay, and slowly coming back down. We're using your deltoid and slowly coming back down. So how is that at 45 degrees now?
same thing, 45 degree, there is a small source. Again, and especially this side of the muscle.
Mhm, mhm. So you probably need, and I don't know whether we have time today, but Ramesh can work with you on it. We probably need to decrease the contraction of perhaps your bicep and tricep muscle.
Right.
Yeah. So coming up, we can do it together. You can do them both at the same time. It's a little more effective to do them one at a time. So bend your elbow, bring your hand towards your shoulder, and then slowly coming back down. Coming up and slowly coming down. Coming up. So let your hand go down so your arm is going toward being straight. Let your arm straighten. You have to go farther down. Can you do that? I guess you can't go anywhere. You can kind of bring them down beside your body and relax. So we're going to work with both the bicep and the triceps so that when you're coming down, you're not going to reach that 45-degree point.
The pain source are here and here.
Mm-hmm.
Here and here.
Mm-hmm. So remember to make sure that your supraspinatus doesn't get contracted and stay contracted. And Ramesh is going to work with you to go through all of the muscles that may be contributing to compressing you.
Yes. I feel this is the right way of approach for solving the problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much, Arun, for volunteering. We'll now move on to Shivani.
I have one slightly stupid question.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't share those conditions and I still just do it along, is there a downside to it?
A downside to what?
To doing the same exercises that you're saying to do just along with him, whether or not I have those same problems.
Oh, you can do, it's not going to hurt you.
Okay.
It's going to help you use your body. It simply will develop your neuronal connections and so forth.
Thank you.
The main thing is not to overdo it. So if you do a few repetitions, it is not going to hurt you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question.
Shivani, you have to unmute and speak.
Eleanor.
Yes?
Hi. Hello,
Yes?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can see you and hear you.
Okay. So I have been with Sir for almost a couple of months now. So my entire, this pain or discomfort started almost 1.5 years ago. And so my issue is like bilateral. When the right shoulder is complete range of movement, but it's still stiff. And the stiffness also shows around, the pain comes up to the bicep also. And the left is restricted in movement. There has been an improvement, but it has got stuck after a particular range that got improved. So, I used to feel very stuck and fused in my armpit also. That all has changed, but the range of movement has stopped improving after a while. And my main issue is again the arm pain, the bicep and the tricep, especially while bringing it down. So I don't have a resting pain, Eleanor. Like if I'm just sitting and I'm working, I don't have pain. The entire issue starts when I have to raise the left shoulder, and then bringing it down is more painful than taking it up. That's one thing. And also something going on in the entire pelvic girdle, which Sir is helping me out with. So both ends of the body, so both glutes are tight, which is now impacting the iliotibial band. I feel very tight in the, so left is more impacted than the right, and left is what restricts me from living a free movement life with free movement, but right is quite manageable. Everything is good, but tight, but very manageable. But left is more impacted.
Mhm. So-
Eleanor, in terms of practices, I have put her through the drawing the shoulder in and side bending on the chest from the green light protocol. She has done width of aging lesson 1 full. She practices cat stretch regularly in the morning, evening. And then we have done some of the movements for the neck. These are the practices that she has gone through till now.
Mhm. 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 And so show me the restricted movement again. Go toward the restricted movement.
So this is the level the shoulder and the bicep starts acting up.
Mhm.
So actually, I'm quite, the shoulder has still shown the improvement. Okay, I'll show you this part also. So the
Okay.
range of movement has come back, Eleanor, but it's
Mhm.
still very difficult, you know. Initially, it would
Mhm.
not even go up like this, but at least now it's going up. But it is quite uncomfortable. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the shoulder bit, and the left glute and left leg length difference also has been my issue for a couple of years now, actually. But it's showing up all the more because the whole body feels like the glute and the shoulder feels all jacked up and tight. So it's, you know, it really makes me feel that there's an imbalance in the way I walk, and I'm, you know, kind of swaying when I'm walking.
Mhm.
So almost 12, 13 years ago, this condition had come up where I had no literal pain in the body, but I had imbalance and leg length discrepancies. And for so many years, it went off well, but around the pandemic, it started showing up again, and it came up in form of literal pain and tightness.
Mhm. So it looks like you have a lot of contracted muscles,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. And so to reset them, as I was saying earlier, it's like layers of an onion. We need to take care of this part of the onion and then this part of the onion. And you may be with your left arm doing something that people frequently do with a shoulder that's bothering them. They start lifting the shoulder up before they lift their arm up.
Okay.
So to lift your arm up, you really need to bring your shoulder down rather than lifting the shoulder up. Because if you lift your shoulder up, then you can't lift your arm up because of the shoulder joint. Just will not allow that movement. Your supraspinatus has to contract.
Yeah.
And then that pulls your arm bone, your humerus into your shoulder joint. Then the deltoid picks up from there. And then you have a rotation of your shoulder blade, which takes your arm up. So it has to come in and up in order to lift higher.
Yeah,
But if you lift your shoulder up and then try to lift your arm up, you won't be able to do it and it hurts. So if you can practice using your supraspinatus and then remembering to really hold your shoulder down before you pick your arm up. And now it rotates, let your arm rotate, palm in, and let your shoulder blade. See, what makes your arm longer is the shoulder blade rotates. That's what makes your arm longer. Your arm isn't getting longer. It just has a little extra length provided by the shoulder blade. And you also don't want to go past the end of your range of motion. So to go into where it's uncomfortable, don't do that because it will rebound. So as you're doing this, go as far as you can go easily and then slowly come out of it. And as you do that, you will expand your range of motion.
Yes, so when I move this, when I try to go beyond my range, something happens in my jaw. I start feeling something is going off. I've told
Yeah,
sir about it. Yeah.
I bet your muscles are contracting a lot when you're efforting to go past. So don't go past the end of your range of motion. Don't do it. But as you go almost to the end, repeatedly, you will gradually go past the end of your range of motion. But if you push it, it will rebound. It will stop you.
Yeah, that's about it.
We'll keep it there for now. And you probably need, with Ramesh's help, some guidance in decreasing the contraction of your biceps muscle and your tricep muscle. So you're
Because
going to
in the-
want to go.
Yeah,
What?
sorry. In the glutes, I feel there is a lump in my muscle, and it's like, it's like this.
I know. So Ramesh is going to show you how to voluntarily contract that muscle and then slowly let it go and gradually undo the knot that's there.
So I do respond, Eleanor, but suppose I do a session with sir now, my relief shows up the next day. I don't feel any instant difference that,
Well,
just now.
That's fine. Many people don't, but they do notice it the next day.
Next day, yeah, totally.
Yeah. That's kind of natural. Your body keeps on working on it. What I sometimes tell people is that our work will continue after the actual session, almost like a flower, a bud of a flower opening up. Because first of all, the muscle isn't getting the circulation it needs. It doesn't get the nutrients, the oxygen, the fluid. It doesn't get rid of its byproducts of function. It becomes kind of ischemic. And as you start to free it, then it says, oh, okay, all righty. Yeah.
So there have been moments when I could walk without any tightness, with minimal tightness rather. And there have been days where I feel, oh God, I have to push my body to take a walk. But yeah, I've realized next day I feel lighter, I'm moving easier. My hamstring and glutes are, I won't say slightly, but 50% change does happen the next day. And which also feels big considering that I was all jacked up, so it does feel.
I know. Yeah, no, it's quite marvelous that way.
Do we continue with the red light and the trauma reflex as well for her? We have done the red light for her. We have done green light partially, and we have not done trauma reflex protocol so far.
We'll just continue as you're going.
Okay.
Have you worked when you did the green light session? Have you helped her decrease the contraction of her hamstrings?
Yes.
Good. Then keep doing that.
In fact, on a couple of sessions, we just did that. That portion of the hamstring released from the green light and the tucking in the shoulder and then side bending to release the shoulder. And then sometimes we do only the red light protocol of the shoulder coming up towards different directions and releasing.
Good. Just keep on going. Okay. The layers of the onion. And you're going to learn more about how to be in your body, how to maintain, how to take care of things that happen. Yeah.
But you're right about keeping this up because I work on people's bodies myself. I'm a Bowen practitioner, Bowen therapy practitioner. So actually, when you said that, I realized when I'm working on them, I'm actually lifting my shoulder up and working. So over the year of a decade, working like this could have contracted these two areas of the body.
Yes, yes. Right.
Yeah. So lack of awareness of my posture, I think, has contributed to this kind of a condition.
Yes. Yeah. So you need to reset things and then maintain them.
Yeah. Right. Also, Eleanor, just because you're there today, I wanted to talk about my mother just for 2 minutes, then I'll connect her with sir. She has chronic vertigo. I was wondering if, and also neck misalignment, and she can't move her neck on either side comfortably. Lot of symptoms. I'll send the list to sir, and if he finds it's possible, he'll share it with you. I was just wondering if somatics can help her because she's immobile. She's weak and she's very frail and she can't move.
Yes.
She's scared of moving now.
Yeah. Yes,
Help?
it can help her, and it needs to be gentle, tiny movements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll connect her with the sir.
Yes. That'll be very helpful for her.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Sir.
Thank you.
We have some time for if people have any questions on which they want some answers. This will be the best way to interact with Eleanor and ask. So please unmute yourself and
Also,
ask.
Ramesh, I would like to hear from people what they noticed
Yeah,
during the
both.
exercises.
Sure.
And
Yeah, both.
yeah.
So who would like to go first?
May I?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is more of a feeling of overwhelming because of feeling so very caught up all the time. And here I feel that yes, there are with some slight movements I'm feeling relaxed, but at the same time maybe the backlog that I have of all the contractions is so much that I still feel that I still have a very long way to go. Like yesterday and today, with all the sessions with the upper back, I mean the shoulder and the cervicals, I was so surprised that every exercise you did, I had those pain in all those muscles, wherein I thought I didn't have pain. So I only knew that this area and a little back, the upper side, and the needle sort of a pain. But here I realized whether I do this and going back or this and lifting, everywhere there are muscles which are just so very contracted. So I don't know, I really have a very long way to go.
Well, it probably isn't as long as you think it is, because sometimes things begin to move quickly. It's like getting the keys to unlock things. And you will have the tools that you need that you can take care of various things that you notice. But what a wonderful thing, though. What a wonderful thing to be doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, freeing yourself and coming to know yourself more somatically, and then having the tools to take care of all kinds of things that you discover. Can you think of anything more interesting to do than to discover yourself, your true self? No.
No.
It's the most exciting thing.
Yes, especially after doing these a couple of sessions with Ramesh sir and all, I'm able to identify myself with the body.
Wonderful.
Like, this is my body, and okay, these are my hands or maybe my neck. Like how we do a scanning, how we did yesterday with you. I also do it with Ramesh sir. So that awareness that, okay, I have the body with hands and legs. I mean, I may sound very stupid, but I'm actually feeling it because I've taken it so much for granted without realizing that, yes, I am in the body and I want to live without pain and suffering.
That's a wonderful goal. And you know, many people don't know their bodies and haven't arrived at a feeling of compassion for their bodies or appreciation of enjoying their bodies. And because they feel kind of joy in their bodies, and you have that to look forward to. You have all those things to look forward to.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Looking forward to living in this body happily without suffering.
Yeah, that's a wonderful goal. Yeah.
In fact, Eleanor, she's an exponent of two of the classical dance forms of India called Kathakali and Mohiniyattam. And my challenge is to get her to dance once again. So with your help, I think she will reach there.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Please share her number with me. I would like to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'll share her.
Thank you. And I also wanted to say, Eleanor, it's this form of moving the body is no less than a meditative experience.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I resist meditation like in a sitting form. It's very uncomfortable. I don't like to sit for longer hours or longer durations, but this is so meditative, I'm really enjoy doing it.
Thank you. It truly is. Yeah. It truly is.
Eleanor,
yes.
I wanted to ask you, last year after I had that accident wherein I was hospitalized for 10 days, the orthopedics and the physiotherapist have asked me not to sit crossed legs. Like how we sit for meditation, or maybe the legs are front and back. We not cross it, but at least front and back. So is it okay that should I try sitting it, or should I just continue being on chair?
I think for now, continue being on chair. For now.
Okay.
And then that's what I think. Unless you reach a point where you feel so inspired to sit cross-legged that you can do it comfortably. And
I think it's more of a fear of the contractions and that excruciating pain.
Yeah, well, pay attention to that. And maybe as you're working with Ramesh, gradually you can reach the point where you can do it. And that's not fear. Fear and contracted muscles are not going to be the outcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks a ton.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Lakshmi, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, it's been a good experience actually. I have this nagging pain here, and it goes to the shoulders and these points here in the middle of the back. So there's been a lot of relief. But I've noticed something that, when I go to sleep, I think I'll end up contracting everything, because every morning I get up with the same amount of pain.
Yeah.
So that is something which I'm trying to figure out. I just figured it out in the last 3-4 days. I'm doing the contraction while sleeping, because during the day I get relieved if I do even a few of the exercises. And I'm like, why do I get up again with the pain?
Okay, so I want to tell you why you are. And that is, when we are awake, our cortex inhibits unwanted movements. So right now you are not jumping up and down and running around like a 3-year-old. You're sitting very calmly and so forth, because your cortex is inhibiting any movements that want to come up spontaneously. But when you are asleep, your cortex is not working. And so all the contractions that want to happen will happen. In fact, you will replay contractions you created during the day. So it's sometimes a good idea to do at least some of them before you go to sleep, so you're not going to be playing all those contractions all night. But the thing is, in the morning, do your somatic exercises, undo whatever you accidentally did during the night, and go on. And gradually, that will not be happening as much, your morning contractions.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll start in the night also.
Great. I want to hear how it goes.
Yes, surely. Thank you.
Okay. You're
Thank
welcome. Thanks.
Eleanor, what
Yes.
exactly Lakshmi said is what even I am experiencing. Because I mean, for the last, I think 10 days, I have been telling Ramesh sir that my hands are hurting or my shoulders or something. And in the end, I mean, the upper back was really bad. But
Mhm.
every day morning, I am just getting up with the same pain. I tried doing it at night also. So is
Mhm.
it something that is subconscious which is bringing it up?
You know, that's a possibility, but it's all subconscious. Anything that's not in the cortex is subconscious. It is below the level of your
Oh.
awareness.
Oh. So every day morning when I get up, I get up with a wooden shoulder.
So undo it as soon as you can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Actually, the panticulations that you tell is so helpful. I do it in the night before going to sleep. I do it in the morning before getting up from bed. And the back
Good.
is so relaxed when you wake up. It is so helpful. It's unbelievable. I'm so happy when I feel my back. It's so smooth. It's so calm. It has no complaints.
Oh,
And I
that's-
feel so good. That exercise is the only thing I do. I don't do so regularly. I don't do anything much except when I sit with sir's classes.
Yeah.
I will do this. If not anything else for my body, I will definitely do this in the night before going to sleep, in the morning before waking up from bed. I will do
Yeah.
my arching of the back, and it
Good.
is amazing. It's great for my back. Thank you
It's
so much. It's such a
You're
great
so
exercise.
welcome.
It's a great
I'm
exercise.
so glad. So love hearing that. And yes, we can even do it in our sleep. In case you notice something happening, little pain or little whatever, you may wake up noticing yourself doing a pandiculation for it, and you were doing it in your sleep.
Eleanor, I had a question, which I asked Sir also about it. This does help us release and lengthen the muscles, Hanna Somatics. So how do we go about incorporating strengthening bit? I mean, is there anything that we can do about it?
Yes. So, doing your Hanna Somatic exercises balances your body. So when you do your strengthening exercises, things are in a better foundation. So what I recommend to people when you're doing strengthening things, that if you're doing are you doing weightlifting? Using weights?
No, I'd rather use physio exercises for strengthening because the body is too tight. So I'm not experimenting with a lot of weights right now.
Good. Yes, so what you want to do is after you do the physical exercises, do the same thing, maybe not as many repetitions, but slowly and gently, and reset the muscles so that, see, a developed muscle has larger muscle fibers, more myofibrils. A chronically contracted muscle is simply being held in a shortened position. So what you want the benefit of both. So do your physical activity, exercises, things, and then do a somatic version with the same part of your body.
All right. So you mean to say strengthen first and then do somatics? All right.
Or vice versa. Because sometimes if you've got somatics going in your life, it has already prepared you, but you're just going to do it after also, so that the exerting kinds of things didn't stay contracted.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
I have a question here. Similar to what Kannan and Lakshmi said, some bits of it. In the sense, initially when I started doing these exercises, I was feeling great, etc. But of lately, somehow there has been a resistance, especially in the night, I'm not able to do it. And there's a slight increase in resistance to kind of avoid exercises at times. I'm not able to understand the psychological link to this aversion. I identified at least one factor is my sleep patterns have been disturbed a little. But towards exercise, I'm not able to understand the psychological link. Some bit of aversion. Morning, I'm able to do it, but night or other times, I'm not able to do it. So I'm just trying to figure out: is there a link? Is there a something more to it than that?
Probably there is. What associations do you miss the freedom of not having to do something? Many people do their somatic exercises because they feel so good and they will sleep better and so forth and so on. So that's what gets them to do them. But if you're making yourself do them, you might begin to resist that. Resist the tyranny of having to do your somatic exercises. So they say, you want to do your somatic exercises? No, I don't want to do them. You might cut down on the amount of them. Maybe for you, it should be one time a day rather than twice a day, or just play around with, kind of bargain with yourself for what would be the plan that would work for you. Sometimes we want to do them because of something else it gives us, like I will be able to do other things more easily, or whatever. It has a payoff, and that's why people do them. Some people say, I never do exercises when I should do exercises, but I do my somatic exercises because I feel so much better. So that's why I take the time to do them. And also, I tell people sometimes, if you will do those, you can do everything else faster than ever before, because you will not be, your muscle groups will not be fighting each other. Because, for example, if you're walking, your leg can only go so far forward as the muscles that pull it back allow it. So your gait, your stride is shorter because the muscles are fighting each other. But if you do your somatic exercises, zoom, you can do everything else faster, freer, more comfortably.
Can I add something here, Nishant?
Sure.
Eleanor, with your permission. Something that I also go through during the day because of work. My thoughts run so fast that when I do somatics, it slows it down. And somewhere down the line, I'm fighting with myself. My mind is rushing to a speed of lightning. I may not even really know. I may think about the clients, or I may think about the household work, or some people whom I need to get in touch with or get the work done. So the speed is so much that that little inner me, which is going to give me comfort doing the somatics, that part I don't listen. I mean, my mind doesn't allow me to listen to my heart. So my heart is crying that no, tomorrow morning this might happen. But this is so fast, it doesn't have time only. Either unnecessary thoughts or overthinking or nagging thoughts, it could be anything. But this is what I realized with myself, that there is many a times a tug of war between the mind and the heart.
Yes, yes, I know.
Yeah?
Very true.
Several things like that. And one of those things is you have two halves of your brain. One half is very connected with things and planning and words and is very fast. The other half is dealing more with, let's say, with your heart, with your body, with feeling things, and so forth and so on. And that feeling side, the right hemisphere, is very, very valuable. But the left tends to try to say it's not important. All that stuff is not important. What is important is the things that I think about, the left hemisphere. So it will try to interfere, and it will say all kinds of things to you, like, are you wasting your time again? Are you going to be able? Don't forget the it'll say a lot of stuff trying to get your attention, because it gets scared when you're shifting the focus. It feels like it's going to lose out. It's going to lose its position as being, the ruling part of your brain. So it has to understand that if you will allow it to do these movements slowly and with awareness, you can do all of those left hemisphere things even better, because you will not be being undermined by the heart and the rest of you needing time to be present and contribute, because it contributes, that side of you, the nonverbal side, is really powerful. It's very powerful, and it feeds the verbal side. And most people don't realize how important it is. So that, yes, there is a battle, but if the left hemisphere understands how much that can contribute to its goals and purposes, then it's a little more able to say, okay, go ahead, do your somatic exercises.
I think we need to bring the session to a close.
Okay.
Once again, Eleanor, there is no words to thank you. We can never thank you enough for taking time out to conduct these wonderful sessions. And we are always touched by your grace, generosity, your kindness in trying to take us all and make us aware of Hanna Somatics. Thank you very, 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 very much. And now for a closure, just sit in a meditative position, keep your eyes closed. We'll chant Om just once today because we are slightly over time. So take a deep breath in. Shanti Mantra. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Rub your hands nicely, keep them on your eyes. Hari Om Tat Sat. So thank you very much all of you for being part of this session, and see you for the next webinar when we announce it. We will be launching mostly in January our next program on Hanna Somatics, where we will cover all the myth of aging lessons. We'll cover cat stretch, we'll cover all the 3 protocols. So we'll make the announcements when we plan it and launch it. So those of you who want to participate can join in, and you can also share it with your friends. We'll also share the link for Novato Institutes, and then you can get more information about the activities of Eleanor. And there are a lot of wonderful guided exercises on audio MP3, which you can actually buy, and Eleanor has kept it very reasonably priced at just $30 or $40 max for a complete 8-session lessons, etc. So now they are available for instant download, so you pay and then you can immediately download the lessons and you can just switch it on and you can practice. I do it very many times. Even now I keep playing either Eleanor's guided or Dr. Hanna's guidance, and I practice it, and that's how you keep perfecting all the time. So I'll share the link. Those of you who want to purchase can also do so. So thank you once again. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
bye.
Thank
you so
Eleanor.
much.
Thank you. Good day.
Both of you.
Thank you.
And
Bye.
thank you.